Alright everybody, I hope you're doing well. Today I have a few Russian things. I'm going to be describing these parts. I made a video showing two of my Russian parts kits, and I want to kind of do some close-ups of some of the parts so you can see what an actual Russian AKM looked like as far as the parts go. I had a few people ask, hey, can you do some close-ups and like let me look at some of these parts, so I'm going to do that now. Um, this is the pistol grip. The check ring is convex, so it sticks out instead of being concave. It's a nice red color with a seam down the middle. It has one of two on the top of the grip. Pistol grip screw head is fairly narrow, in comparison to its shaft. This is the gas block and front sight on the barrel. It has a sugar scoop, 14x1 left-hand thread. The parts are, I believe, these are, I can't tell if these were in the stage of the AKM's development where they were cast or if they were machined. I have another parts kit that I know the gas block and the front sight were forged and machined parts, but I can't tell with this. I know the top is flat on the gas block. It's chrome plated on the inside. Can't really tell because it's kind of old and dirty, but it's chrome plated. You see it has a recess on the front and on the back of the sight, and a post adrift with two pins holding it and a detent in the front. Standard AK affair. See the bayonet lug has a hole through it for the cleaning rod. Two pins retaining on the barrel for the population. Barrel is chrome plated. There are a number of vent holes along the gas port here on this gas block that they changed it from the gas tube having the ports along the outside to having the ports right up in the front, which I think was a smart move because the erosion, I'm assuming, not the erosion, but the heat coming out of the gas port right next to your handguard would have been pretty annoying, I can imagine. So if you can imagine having your hand here and there's four holes, right next to the front of your hand shooting gas out instead of, a little bit farther away. This gives it a little bit more creature comfort and pretty much performs the same thing. Trigger guard. It's a stamping. It's got 3 sets of rivets, so 1 rivet in the back, 2 rivets on the side, 2 rivets on the side. This latch is retained with a hollow capped pin that's pressed into a rivet right here, so the holds it in place. Nice strong spring. The rivets are flattened on the top. This hole for the trigger guard is interesting. It's got a slot that cuts out a little bit longer than the actual trigger allowance. You can tell this was holes here and they just made it across there. So the top cover. This is a stamped top cover. 1mm thick. Pretty nice stampings. I like this look a lot. Makes it very strong, but also it gives it a neat feel. Very World War II-ish. It's got a flare right here to stop your safety selector from popping out. It's stamped on the back. Stamping matches the number on the rest of the parts. This is your recoil spring assembly. It's got chain link with a retaining cap on the front. Spring is chrome plated to resist corrosion. It's got cutouts for the top cover to actually mate into. Yeah, I know it goes this way, but see, you can tell it mates. There's a number stamped here. The number matches the rest of the gun. You can see it right there. And it's nice that it's not electro penciled. There's an image of the front of it. These links are retained on this front piece. Handguard retainer. It's got its little lever square in profile. And it's got inside two, so you can see the lever as it rotates, it becomes round. So when you want to extract your handguard, it makes a perfect circle for the barrel to move. And then when you lock your handguard in, it creates a pin. There are two slots. You can see one right there, and right there for the barrel to lock into, and a hole for the cleaning rod. Safety selector is pretty standard for the early type. It's got a hole through this tab. It's riveted onto this little assembly here and stamped all over the place with a detent right here. Very little difference in a lot of this compared to the modern ones. Bolt carrier. This is your AKM bolt. Got a free floating pin. An extractor. Two lug rotating. A lot of grooves and a lot of lightning cuts. The pin right there for holding that in. And it's got a stamping right here. Really, really neat. Of course, the bolt carrier, long stroke piston, grit enameling up in the front. It has a chrome plated piston head with several grooves. Your cam grooves are machined to match your bolt, and it's got this housing for the tail of your bolt. Your rails slide right here and here, and you can also use these to aid in disassembling your gas tube. Got charging handle, and it is stamped with the serial number. Serial numbers match. All the numbers match on these kits that I have. It interfaces with this bolt and rotates in that camming groove. So as I push it back and forth, it locks into place. That's the bolt and bolt carrier. Here's the barrel trunnion, the rear sight block, and the gas block and handguard. So, barrel trunnion assembly with a piece of the receiver, 3 rivets holding into place, a barrel pin, 7mm, chrome plated chamber, several grooves to lock your bolt in place. A location for your handguard to retain and your cleaning rod to come through. You can see the chamfering on these 2 corners here. And ears to retain your sight block. Dated and stamped with the serial code. And I believe this is re-arsenaled at some point. One of these codes. For your sight block, it's under 1,000 meters. Has a flat spring in there holding it in tension. It's riveted on with this little lever for disassembling your gas tube. Gas tube works this way, where you can rotate this little flat, half flat, and it'll rotate and lock in as a pin, or allow you to remove your gas tube. It has a single pin holding it around the barrel. And you can see how thick the barrel is at up near the chamber. It has a retaining cutout for your top cover to slide into right there. And the bottom is cut out and with a location added for your flat spring. You can see the journal step down right there on the barrel. The barrel steps down as it goes down its length. Handguard. It's a laminated piece. High quality lamination. The hole, the bottom. Hole for your cleaning rod. A retaining clip and several pins to keep it in construction so it doesn't delaminate with rapid firing and heating and cooling. The slot peg for your going under your barrel trunnion. Palm swells. Has a few stampings. A diamond stamp right there. And another little fainter stamp you can't really see up in the front there. Gas tube. Standard AKM gas tube. It's got a stamping. It's held on with a retaining clip. It is a 6-sided star stamping, but it is a round tube about 2/3 of the way down. The stamping helps retain this guide for your upper handguard, which is a laminated piece. You can see the laminations. Laminated means it's just a big piece of plywood that it's milled out. It's very robust and rugged, better than hardwood in a lot of cases, especially on machine guns. Your retention for your sight block. Piston rides through this gas tube. there's no holes, like I was mentioning. So the holes in the early AKs are right here, which up next to your hand would be very hot. So they put the holes on the gas block instead. So that's that. Let me reassemble everything. Cleaning rod has a slot there. You have a cleaning kit that this runs through and is retained by this end, and you can run your jags and stuff. Hole right there to run a rod through if you need. And just a really neat piece. It's nice that they included a cleaning rod with the kit. And the final piece that I'm showing here, because I don't want to get into the trigger assembly, I'll get into that in a different video. This is a buttstock. It's got a hole with a spring inside for a cleaning kit. Lamination is nice. It's been re-arsenaled, I think. That's what that square with the slot through it is. Stock trunnion. It's two rivets, and it's got the slot for your recoil spring assembly. Tang with two screws, one there and one there. Your stock slots into the back of this. Underneath the stock trunnion, there's a lightning cut right there, so you can see the laminated stock. Very comfortable stock. This has been repaired several times with pins. It's pinned here with an aluminum rod here and here, as well as here. It's got a sling loop on the bottom. And the butt plate's made out of steel. Very comfy, sort of short, but it's nice because they were wearing coats. And for me, I sort of live in a temperate climate, but it's winter for a few months here, so a very deep winter. So it's nice to be able to have a coat. There's a stamping on the top of the buttstock right there. And one right here. Sorry, my daughter's watching Cinderella. So, very cool buttstock. So, I have a few mags here as well as a barrel. This is a barrel, 7.62 by 39. It's chrome plated. Just a standard AKM barrel. You can see there are slots here, cut for the retention, as well as a cut for your handguard retainer. 14 by 1 left hand thread. There are several proof marks, but my camera's so crappy that I don't think you could be able to see it. I have a slab-sided mag with some writing on it. It's got a Arsenal stamps all over the spine. And somebody wrote something right there. It's got an Arsenal marking here. Not Arsenal marking, a proofing marking. And marking here. And let me see if I can find the flat base. Really a lot heavier than this mag. This is a Izzy 762x39. It's got a spine stamping. Where is the spine stamp? Right there. So you can see various stamping. There's the adjust mark, a little triangle. It's got several stamps. Oh, Sophie, it's movie's over. Here's an Izzy Bakelite. It's got the steel reinforcings in the feed lips and along the lugs here, as well as a cage down the front and one in the back. Oh, not in the back, sorry, but there is reinforcing in the top here, steel butt plate. And here's a RPK mag, no lot produced. You can see a bunch of stampings. And it has the Molot star. And it's right there, that's its little stamp. Stamped floor plate. Very similar to this one. So those are some of my Russian things. I just have a sampling of some stuff. There's a lot more, but I don't have time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of deep dive into these parts as best I could do. And I'll do more, but a lot of people have been asking, hey, what do the Russian parts look like up close? And so I wanted you to see it. If you have like a modern AKM, they're very similar, but a lot of people really want to see what the Russians did in the Cold War with their arms. So hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.